For 29 years we're praising our Savior, who's been good to us. We're praising our Savior. He continues to prosper and cover and restore and renew. Praising our Savior, because He keeps us in our right mind. Praising our Savior. Yes, we will bless you and offer and praise it, worship it, seek it, delight in it, praising our Savior. Every chance I get, every time I come into His party, thanksgiving, I enter and pray all the day long. Thank you, Master. Thank you, Savior. You've been faithful, and I bless you. Anybody gonna bless Him with me? Anybody gonna praise Him with me? Hallelujah. Lord, we extol you.
What's up, tribe? Please jump up and make a joyful noise for a woman with one of the most dynamic voices you will ever hear.
Oh,
She has the vocal prowess of both Jennifer Hudson and Jasmine Sullivan, and I swear I may have even heard a little bit of Whitney in there, but the difference between Lena Byrd, Miles, and those other women is this sister only sings for God. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you, Oakland, California's own Miss Lena Byrd Miles. What up?
what's up, everybody? Hi, tribe, all of you all. I mean, I don't really sing like that, but that's a little taste.
I almost got
Thank
happy.
you, Roger.
I almost got happy just off of that.
Thank you, though. I really appreciate the introduction. He put a lot on it, but I mean to be in the number with those names, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's well deserved. I'm just
Thank
saying.
you. Thank
So,
you.
so yeah, Lena. When was the point like when you realized, oh, that you were special? Not just singing around the house, not just singing in choir, not just getting a solo, but you realized you were special and you could really do this gospel singing thing for real.
Probably that I started feeling more confident. It was late teenage years, actually, probably like the 16, 15, 16, 17
Hmm.
mark, because of like doing a lot of things. I guess got me, if you have your church celebrities in your area. So I got noticed more by those, and you feel more affirmed, like when they're like, can you come to my program and be a part of this, versus just, not saying that anything is, when you at your local church, and my granddad's a pastor, so we were singing there all the time. It was just like any program, offering time. Just because they cooking the chicken too long, you got to feel it. Like, so you might not have felt like it was just as, as valued or as cherished, because you could feel a little common in your own, but when people are sending for you and they're asking you to be featured and do, one of my good friends, Derek Hall, I want to say, I was 19, and my now husband, we were dating then, but he's the one who recommended me to him. He was like, I need somebody who has a kind of like a flexible schedule to do some background vocal work for me. So while I was going to Chabot College in Hayward, in between classes, I would actually go and record background vocals for him. And then it kind of turned into well, can you come to this program and sing it live? I was like, wait, I just got put into the group just from, so from there, other greats noticed me from, singing, and along with my sisters too. It kind of opened the door to opportunities for us together. But that's, I probably would say, like 17, 18, where I really felt a little more confident about, like, hey, I might be something. I'm something in the Bay Area to these people, other than your mama and your aunties and your family that's showing you love, and your
But
childhood friends, all of
no,
that.
but Lena, your people. I know you come from a musical family. Your sister sing.
Yeah,
Your mom, she was a
yeah,
singer, and
yep.
so they sing. Why didn't you trust them? Like if they say, "Yo, Lena, like you on another level," like why would you not believe them if they're really singers though?
I guess from doing it, well, I'll say maybe the passion side of it didn't really kick in till the teenage years. Because
Oh,
when
okay.
you're kind of a child, you kind of have to do the things that in the songs that your parents and the grandparents request, and sometimes that's not so fun. If you feel like I don't want to sing that, I don't want to sing how I got over it. I ain't even got over it. But just certain things. You not saying that they chose that song, but you just feel like you don't maybe the songs don't connect, Roger, is what I'm trying to say, with you, because it was your grandmother's testimony, or you feel like this is what the slaves sang. This is not really what I sang. I don't have the
Uh-oh.
same
Uh-oh.
journey as
Hold
them.
up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold
I'm
up.
being funny, but
No,
I'm
no, but
exaggerating.
I feel like there's some truth to that. Are you so was there like a generational thing from the wade in the water type spiritual songs? You were just like, that doesn't resonate with you. You wanted to sing a newer type of gospel. Is that what was going on? That post Kirk
Now,
Franklin gospel?
I, to an extent, because I am traditional to my core. Like a lot of those songs, even if you have a tough time in life, I'm not necessarily gonna be stumping. Lately, I've been going through. If my daddy died, I wouldn't want to hear stomp. I would want to hear something more traditional, or something more that's going to really like minister to me, or I would want something that's a little more suited to the soul. So I probably would. And then now I'm almost 40. When you 15, 16, 17, you are a little bit more trendier. You are trying to figure out and navigate, and everything is about slap and knock, and that's tight and that's dope. You want to feel like that. And then that was kind of like the church experience shift, like where praise dancing and all of that started kind of getting more, so you did want to sing what was popular or what was on radio, at gospel radio at the time, and a lot of it was more contemporary sounding. So but when you have grandparents and sometimes older leaders, they have a certain standard set at their ministries that you just can't, be like, we doing this. And my grandfather would be like, I don't even know who Kirk Franklin is. So out of respect, you do sometimes sing these songs that you just, not necessarily might feel like singing. And then you get older and realize what they really meant, as you live life and you experience life, then the lyrics become a little bit more real to you. But sometimes in that time, when you're young, you're just doing it because you're told. You don't really have a lot of passion behind it. For example, you might see little kids at church, I'm happy in Jesus. And they like, really? I can't tell. Versus you get older and you have an actual walk with them, and you experience trauma or tragedy and all kind of things, and then you really pray to God, and you like, oh, I really come to know him in a way now I can really say I'm happy, like he really kept my peace, he really gave me joy in this time. So it resonates a little different when you're older, but when you're younger, you just kind of like trying to fit in and not be laughed at, and all these other, things you feel like may take away your cool points. So it's that type of thing where you feel like, man, they're gonna laugh hearing me sing this, or you just don't want to do it. Sometimes, even now, my grandparents have songs they still love hearing me and my sister sing that we sang when we were little. We like, y'all don't want to hear nothing else, but that we do what they want to do. When we go to their appreciations, we sing what they want us to sing. Don't try to introduce nothing new. that ain't the place or the time. But
What's what's on the repertoire? What are some things that they've been wanting you to sing since you were 5 years old? What's a few of the classics?
Of course, you have your well, it's a James Mary actually redid it with the same melody, but they changed the words to "I just can't give up now." But it's in the melody of "I don't feel no ways tired," and so that's one that we could sing that anytime we go. It don't matter if it was every Sunday. That's like a hit at that church, New Hope Church of God in Christ.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's one. And then they have another one, of course, by another great influence of ours, the Clark sisters, which is called "They That Wait Upon the Lord Shall Renew Their Strength." They'll mount up with wings as eagles. They'll run, they won't be weary. They'll walk, they won't faint. So a lot of it, um
The Clark sisters are from
that
the town, right?
they're
They're
from Detroit.
they're from Detroit. Oh man,
Detroit, Michigan.
maybe I was confusing
Yep.
with Pointer Sisters. I'm so Pointer
But
Sisters.
there's because there are several sister groups, and then there's several sister groups that started in church and then turned R&B. But the
Okay.
Clark sisters actually did a movie. You should check it out. It's on I want to say it was through Lifetime or something like that. But it gives a lot of their history and how their mom really pushed them to be where they are, and how she had to sacrifice and sometimes go against certain things in the church because of being a woman and men not wanting to see her be elevated, and
Hmm.
they threatened to take her position as the choir directress if she was going to do the Grammys with her kids, stuff like that, because they were getting so well known. It's a really good movie to watch, just so you can see, you know, how things were back then, and not knowing, that parents even make sacrifices like that for their children.
Hmm.
Where she did one performance with them, and because it was considered worldly, because she was on the Grammys, they threatened to take her position. So then the next time, I guess they got invited somewhere, she chose to not do it, just because she wanted to still keep her position, which opened all these different doors for the girls too. So you have all these things that you factor when you're in church too, and it's different when women have to climb certain ladders successfully anyway versus when men climb them. So
I'll talk about it. I want to get back to those songs, but talk about but what are some of the differences that you've experienced? This is just a free flowing thing. What are some of the differences you've experienced, like as a woman trying to climb that ladder?
um, I don't necessarily consider myself trying to climb. I kind of just float and let things happen organically with my
Okay.
career, I should say. Like I've never been I wasn't one who auditioned, or even like, I don't know if you heard of like the American Idols, and they had the Christian version of that called Sunday Best. So when
Yeah.
Sunday Best came, I had all kind of people on Facebook like messaging me like, I will pay your way there, I will pay your flight travel, all of that, hotel stay, if you just go do this, because I feel you would win. And I've just never been a competitor. So that's why I'm saying,
Oh,
in
interesting.
that sense, yeah, I'm not, no, not in that sense of doing competitions. My mom entered me into a competition for a church when I was, I want to say 17 or something. I won first place. I didn't want to do it, but the lady that was over it, she let me take a picture with this big trophy. Then she took it and said she would have to get it engraved. And here I am, 39 years old. I still have yet to get my trophy from that particular woman who will remain nameless. But not saying that scarred me. I'm just saying I wasn't into competitions even then. Like my mom, it's almost like a "you gonna do it" type of thing. But yeah, I've never been a competitor, so I just felt like anyone who, if you will, made it and had like God's approval, it was because it was organic. They didn't really, all your great
Right.
names, Whitney didn't audition, for stuff. It's just, she was discovered. It was just a natural talent that just took notice. A
Hmm.
lot of those who try sometimes and force their way into certain destinies, it kind of like, you see, they come and go, one hit wonders, or they just don't have, they might not have the drive that they, you get into something and feel like, oh, I thought I wanted this, but I really don't.
Right.
Versus singing just has always been a passion for me.
Okay.
So I just love to do it, and people just noticed that and, kind of took that. But as far as me climbing an actual ladder, I haven't. And you kind of feel my personality. I'm kind of like, hey, you can have it. I don't. If I feel even the slightest threat from a gentleman feeling like, oh, she's trying to take mine, I'll be like, sir, you can have this. I don't, So that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't be no fight with me trying to. I'm very,
Right.
sure
What's
in like,
yours though? But what's yours is yours. Like
yes,
that's what you're saying. Like
yeah,
you were born with a certain right, and God is going to guide you in that particular direction. And what's really yours, they can't take from you anyway.
I feel
Right?
the same. Yep, I
Yeah.
agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And your path is your path. Like you can't. I just, yeah, like you said, whatever doors, everything, your steps are just going to be ordered by God a certain way to lead you there. So that's literally been my journey. I was discovered even by Warren Campbell through Instagram posts, just a random, and even those Clark sisters I was telling you about.
Mhm.
I ended up going on one of the evangelists of the group. Her name is Dorinda Clark Cole. I ended up going on her show in Detroit twice. But how she discovered me was through a random, I don't know if you remember when Periscope, Social Cam, and all of that.
I remember
Like,
Periscope.
okay, I think some people still use Periscope, but anyway, I had just left a farmer's market. I'm eating a baked potato in the car, and somebody on my Instagram was like, "You should sing on Periscope more often." And so I decided to get on Periscope and sing after I finished eating my potato. And a Clark Sister song happened to be playing on the radio.
Right.
I post that on Instagram. The lady don't even follow me at that time. She wasn't. It got to her. So in my comment, she's like, I gotta have you on my show. And I'm like, somebody done hacked her account. This ain't the real Dorinda talking to me on my page with. And at that time, I may have had I had maybe like 2,000 followers on Instagram. It was real little, like where you would feel like I would never be
Real little
seen or
compared to where it is now. Like, a lot of people would love to have 2,000 followers, but now you want it like 80K, something like that.
yeah, and I didn't, like that's what I'm saying. I didn't shoot to be this. I'm goofy, I'm silly, I post funny stuff and it gets followers, and then the music side gets followers. But I never just said, I'm gonna get an Instagram account and my goal is 82K. I've never. I was satisfied with the little 122 I had, of just, communicating with the small little group that I had. But music just took, that's why I said God did all of that as far as getting my videos to her.
So the woman,
And
so you ate the potato, you sang on Periscope, she reached out, flew you out to
yes,
Detroit, and everything else started coming into
literally
yeah.
same way. We went to Disneyland, and Warren Campbell, I posted a picture of food, who I'm signed with. He was like, "Wait, she out here in LA?" Because he was like, the fat man in me knew that she was at Roscoe's from her post.
That's
So,
hilarious. That's
yep.
hilarious.
2 days later, but
I'm sorry. That's Roscoe's. Hold on.
yeah, literally.
I know that tile pattern anywhere.
Yeah. He was like, I know that chicken and waffle. She got the Obama special. I know everything.
I know that waitress. That's hilarious.
Yeah, but I mean, literally, my husband, we just planned a random trip to LA to go to Universal Studios, Disneyland, all of that. And then I post a picture of food. And I'm saying, see how God just does what he does with me just being myself. I'm not even trying to be, I wasn't like, oh, I got to get hair and makeup and, let me go audition for this. And it's just been him placing me in certain things and giving me, hey, do that. And then I'm finna take it and magnify it, and somebody finna see it. So yeah, that's my journey parts of it. Like, it's been real random the way things have happened for me.
Yeah.
But I haven't been the person that's been trying to get certain doors open at all. It's just been like mind blowing how the dots are being connected for my journey.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's incredible, man. I wanna what's one more old school jam that they make you sing all the time?
well, I won't put my family out there like that. Like, it's just, trouble in my ways. It's not, like, there's no happy moments in Jesus type songs, but it's just kind of, you kind of being redundant, I would say. But we enjoy my childhood song with the choir. It was a song called "In My Name" that we sang, which I still love today. But that's one that, even like when I got married and I joined the church that we were at with my husband, my certain family members was like, "We don't even sing your songs anymore now that you're gone." Almost like I was deceased. Like, y'all can still sing them, just have somebody else sing them. But that was one, and I still, even if I go back now, I'll sing that. And my grandparents my whole family loves it, and church family loves it. But I'm saying they resonate a little bit better with me now versus then. Like, I didn't have good stage presence then. I was real shy, and I wouldn't look at the audience. So you probably would think I didn't enjoy doing music even then, but I really did. It's just, you got to find your own, and after you deal with your own self-esteem issues, feeling, maybe you don't look like that, so you shouldn't, you just have all these things as a girl, and adjusting, and your teenage years and all of that. So sometimes you carry that into what you do professionally sometimes, or what you do at a mic, those things and insecurities. And now it's even worse for some people, because now we have YouTube and you can see negative comments, and you can see, so sometimes you can overthink while trying to do something for God or something positive, or just because you can have 89,000 great comments, but that one negative will
Yeah.
stand out and have you in your head.
Yeah.
So sometimes it was like that back then, just because of things that people might say, or oh, she sings like this, she does too much of this, or she does. So sometimes you even trying to find your own signature sound, you have all that on your mind, and you can just hold back or be a little bit withdrawn in delivering what you're trying to sing. So that all makes a difference too, and it affects you more when you're young, because you still, you know, coming into your own and being sure of who you are. You don't really get there till you get into adulthood, and you like, hey, take it or leave it. If you if you enjoy me, cool. If you don't, cool. It's there's
Right.
a selected few that God has assigned me to. Everyone has their audience, just like you in the tribe. You have your audience for that. Everybody might not tune in to everyone's Zoom, but I feel like God has assigned people for us to be connected to. So it'll
Absolutely.
reach who it's supposed to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, before you said something to the fact if you wanted to sing, the popular music of the time, the music that was played on the radio. And I'm wondering, I'm sure you've gotten this question multiple times, but have you ever thought about singing worldly music, um, or
On a
maybe
professional level,
a
like,
professional on a professional level? Yeah, on a professional level. Have you ever thought about doing that?
not really, just because of my own personal conviction, like how I've grown up, and in me being a gospel artist all this time, and really trying to live the life of Christians, and a saved life. Like I just don't, I wouldn't resonate with that well, or I wouldn't even fit in. I'm not a person who twerks. I'm not a person who, it's like I don't cuss on the regular. Like I wouldn't fit that mold. And
but
then
but Lena,
my life hasn't been a journey where I could feel like my songs would even, I don't
what,
feel like I would connect. But I'm saying I've sang secular songs for like weddings, and
right, okay.
like maybe if I was in a play or something like that, it wouldn't bother me like that. But I mean, as far as to make a career out of it, I just don't feel like that would ever be for me.
What about what if you were to like sing with a would you collaborate with a worldly artist, but what your singing is straight from God? Like, let's say if you got on the hook of a record of a person that was a worldly artist, but you sang something of your faith, and the song it was the right song. Like, would you ever consider something like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it, because you have a lot of secular artists that will do gospel or religious things, depending on what the lyrics are. I really would, take all of that into consideration. Now, if you just cussing and all of that, and you want me to sing the hook, I can't be a part of it.
Yeah.
Like certain things, I just won't compromise. But if it's, you have your, I mean, he just comes to mind. But I was gonna say your R. Kelly's, and who's written like "You Saved Me," and all these different. I Look to You for Whitney Houston. That
Hmm.
wasn't a. It's a lot of songs that we probably didn't realize R. Kelly wrote, that are talking to God, or kind of making you acknowledge God, and you wouldn't. And I'm sure it's other secular artists too that have written. He just comes to mind right off, but there's secular artists who connect in with gospel, because that's their roots. That's part of their foundation, even though they're singing secular. But they all, Snoop is another one who did a
Yes,
Christian album.
yes, he
So
did.
there's several, who you're like, yeah, I could get with that. It's if it's uplifting God and His name and bringing Him glory and credit, then cool. If it's, I'm all for it, because all of us, whether we realize it or not, and you know acknowledge Him in the way that we should, are created to bring Him glory in whatever capacities that we can. That's whether it's through these type of settings or whatever. So I think a lot of times it comes full circle. You hear a lot of secular artists that'll say, well, I came up in the church, or even when they accept their awards, the whole album could be about booty shaking, cussing people out, calling you, but who they gonna acknowledge when they get the award? I gotta thank God. Oh, okay. He the one that told you to call her okay. But I see what you're saying. So that's what I'm saying. It comes full circle. Even they realize that talents and gifts come from God, not from, it's not a man given thing. So I hope I'm making sense. I'm probably kind of rambling, but
I love it. Just cute.
that's, you seen it, Roger. I'm sure they,
Oh, yes. Oh yeah.
the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the
Absolutely.
top album, and I'm like, the English language is very
No,
it's more cuss words than good English, but they gonna thank God.
right, right. I worry about, not worry about, but I've thought about people wanting to be more virtuous in their music, but they're signed to a major label,
Okay.
and they feel like their audience will abandon them, or they won't be
Okay.
real. I think about DJ Quick wanted to make a gospel album,
Oh,
and
I didn't know that.
yeah, DJ Quick did. But he became like very, very concerned for whatever reason he didn't.
Okay.
But I think about like all these people that are signed to these labels, and I know Too Short wanted to make a whole album that was righteous, not gospel, but about like uplifting. Remember, he used to make songs like "The Ghetto," and he used to make songs
Yeah.
like "Money in the Ghetto" and all these things. Like he would have these conscious songs, and he wanted to make a whole album that was like in that vein. And
Okay.
people was just like, we will not support this. Um,
Wow. I never knew all of that. Wow.
yeah,
But
yeah,
look at Snoop, look how well Snoop did.
yeah.
And then even Kanye. Not
Oh,
saying that, and it could just be the time, like the timing of versus now. Not saying that anything goes now, but people are a little bit more soft hearted when it comes to that, and then even in some sense, I think a little bit more open to finding hope in those type of situations, because even with them being who they are, who's to say God can't use them, to reach who
mhm.
their audience is. We sometimes, church people might feel like, well, I can't support that, but that don't mean that God wouldn't use that person to reach somebody you wouldn't reach, so I think it's just sometimes the timing of a lot of things, that when you try to do something, like if they were to do it now, it wouldn't even be frowned upon.
Right,
If
right.
but back when they were, it could have just been the way things were. Cause
How you feel
I'm
about
like,
Kanye? How you feel about Yeezy? Not to cut you off, but like I wanted, that was a thing. How you feel? Because I let me we keeping it real. You keeping it real with me. I keep it real with you. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Kanye, right? Kanye made the gospel album, but Kanye came into the game with Jesus Walks. And he always talked about this conflict between um, following Christ and all of these worldly temptations. Like that was always part of the core of his music. But as of
okay,
late, he's like totally devoted himself to God as far as the music, right?
yeah.
And I was wondering, what do you think about him in terms of in terms of gospel, in terms of gospel music, in terms of what he's doing? Do you have any thoughts and opinions on that?
I don't have any, like, I wasn't a huge fan of his stuff.
Mhm.
Like I really started listening when he started doing the gospel stuff. Like I knew some of the hooks, and because I would listen to the like the singing part, like when it all falls down. Like I
Ooh.
know those, I know like just the hooks of like his stuff, but I can't say that I know like lyrics of stuff. But he's always been dope to me in like producing, and knowing that he does a lot of come up with beats and stuff like that. So I can't say that I was just this follower that knew, I don't, I could just bust out and be like, like know all his lyrics. But when the gospel part of him started emerging, I just felt like, God, if he's really sincere, then I'm all for you doing what you do to get connected to God. Another part of me was just like, hey, who knows what, I know he went through like a lot once his mother passed away, I want to say, and this, mental breakdown, I want to say, or whatever. But I'm saying we don't know what God uses to bring us closer to him too. Like this could have been a way that was an outlet. It could have been a therapeutic thing for him. Um, and then I also started watching, because some of the people that were a part of the choir and the musicians I know from Los Angeles. Jason White, the director. I met him several times, and we haven't worked together, but we know who each other are in passing. And then some of the choir members I've sang with, they were part of another choir, Jason McGee and the choir. So I've worked with them too. So I was just looking like, and then I was like, oh, this actually, I like the way some of this stuff sounds, even though they taking secular songs and putting
Right.
Christian content to them, but it's
Right.
hot to me, you know. So I'm like, I can't say that God ain't enjoying it.
Right.
I'm kind of like, you know, hey, if it works, it works. You can't ever knock a person's method, and we can't ever be so boxed in that we feel like God can't use a certain way because it's not a way we would choose, you know.
Right.
But like I said, if it's lyrics that's uplifting Him or glorifying God, I'm with it.
Okay. So let's like take a step back and not just
Okay.
God, but the church at large. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you talked about like maybe some people in the gospel world, or some people not feeling it, but other people will. And as far as the church, the Black church specifically, do you feel like the Black church has been too judgmental in terms of um, in terms of letting people in, or as far as getting with the times? And the reason why I'm asking you this question is because I think about last year we had a lot of protests going on around George Floyd, around the killing of unarmed Black men. That those protests around the world were led by Black Lives Matter, and I was as these things were unfolding, I was waiting to see what would be the church's role in this movement, and I feel
Okay.
like that never really manifested. Whereas in the past, the church was right at the center of like the movements, right? And I'm
Okay.
wondering,
Okay.
where's the why is that not the case now? And I'm wondering, did you notice that, or do you have any opinions around that?
Well, I didn't even look at it. You bring up a very good point about it. I didn't look at it in that sense,
Hmm.
but maybe it could be because of the leaders being. My AirPods are saying I'm on 5%, so I'm gonna try to do my switcheroo.
It's all good.
While
Yes, yes, yes. It's all good.
okay,
Take your time. Take your time.
I was gonna say maybe some are not even somebody, they could be like me, just not fully aware of everything to get in the fight, you know, or they could be afraid. um I don't know, versus, you know, just back in the times where there were, you know, your Martin Luther Kings, and it was just a different type of they weren't afraid to die for these causes in that sense. But now I don't know if it's, you know, I'm scared of this, or I don't. And we have more, I don't know, with even with access like to these type of platforms where so much can be misunderstood. So
Mm,
it's kind of like I might be scared because this can be misconstrued, or I can say this and then it just be flipped, and then I lose my church following, or I lose my membership. You know, like people stop coming, or they, if I, you know, just scared if I move a certain way and it's not received and it affects my ministry. And then, you know, some people's homes may be tied to their churches. If the ministry stops thriving, then you lose your church, your house, your, it's so many things like they might be thinking through, or, you know, just, I don't know, just, I don't know what the reasons really could be, but that is, it's a very good point. Now, there are some that I see, like, I don't know if you know, like Jamal Bryant.
mhm.
He's from Atlanta, Georgia. He's one that I kind of see that helps us, that's in church, that really striving and always on the front line of things when it comes to political platform, because he's more educated in those things. And that's the other thing. I don't think a lot of them aren't as educated to speak up on certain
Mm,
things, and they're
mm.
scared because of social media. You can look dumb real quick if you don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Especially the
So it's
way
kind
people
of,
cut it up, the way people edit the stuff and the clip,
yes,
10-second little.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then and we got cancel culture.
Yeah.
So to be misinformed or just say something and then poof, we ain't coming to your church no more. We ain't listening to your broadcast. It's a lot that would be on the line for a lot of these leaders, and they just might not be equipped to, really do what's necessary. Honestly, I can't say that's for everybody's, but I'm saying that might just be a thing. Like, because I can speak for my own self, like not diving in and really researching a lot of things just so I am aware. But it doesn't mean that it's a good thing to not do that. I'm just saying and it could be very well so for some leaders that they just choose not to get involved for whatever their personal, some really could have a personal belief that they don't want to be involved in that way. They might be like, well, I'm called to feed the hungry. I'm called to do this. And a lot of them don't even get noticed for that or get, something, because you have some people who want to be seen doing stuff all the time. They're always recording their food giveaways, car giveaways. And then you have a lot of ministries that are doing stuff quietly in ministry. So some people might feel stronger in other areas and consider that more beneficial than trying to get into the politic part of it. They might feel inadequate or like what they have to contribute is real, small or not good enough. I don't know what the factors really could be, Roger, though. Honestly, I can say we all can just stand to do better, in Christendom. Like, we all can stand to do better. So hopefully we will see better being done.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. You were talking about like cancel culture and the way that people edit things and people potentially being afraid to lose their ministry and they don't want to work certain things. And I was wondering the extent to which you feel that, like being a gospel singer, do you feel the need to be like pristine all of the time, or this like you have to be you have to really like be without sin, or do you feel like you have to present yourself in a way that is like unrealistic because you sing the gospel?
I mean, I've never been a person to just be just super like, let me put it all out there. Just in general, like, some people, that's just their makeup, even from childhood. So some people just here it is what it is. But I've kind of always been like to myself, and like I said, my world is full of laughter, and I don't have a lot that I do to put out there. So it ain't really, and it could just be because of my own choices. Like, I wasn't one who went to clubs, so I don't have that life. I can't relate to that. I didn't have, I didn't come up with parents who cussed and did all of that, so I don't talk like that. So it ain't. Sometimes I'm trying to say, like, it ain't really that I'm not trying to sin. It's just I wasn't really around certain things that people would consider. I wasn't around smoking and drinking and things like that. So I didn't develop like an appetite or a need for things like that. But Christians sin every day. Your thoughts, so it's kind of like, I hope I don't be presented in just, oh, she never sins. No, somebody cut you off and you in traffic. You might say, hey, but you might think something else, So it's so many ways that somebody cheat on them taxes or do something more deceptive. It's other ways. You feel like you're telling a little white lie. It's other ways than just adultery and what they consider fornication and or all the other sins that people think are people sin every day. So, but it's really about asking God to forgive you every day, because sometimes you sin and not know. You can hurt someone's feelings and not know that you are. You can post something and it be offensive and you not know, you not realize, So yeah, I can't say that I have that type of pressure from people, more so than just reading God's word and wanting to apply that as best as I can. Like, he matters most. People gonna say stuff all the time, and so you'll miss the mark with people all the time. But God is the one who is like, I got you. Pace yourself. Like, it's okay to get some things wrong and then figure it out and say, oh, okay, I can't do that again. I got to do this. So yeah, that's kind of my take on things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope I answered it right.
Nah, you're good. You're great. I know you don't like to delve too deep into like the political things, but I do know you have a very passionate feeling, a very passionate stance regarding the vaccine,
Oh,
regarding the COVID-19 vaccination.
you said because of memes and stuff I posted or something?
Yes. Yes.
Roger, I just be posting for laughs. I'm not.
Really?
All the Bernie Sanders arms across the, like I just post to be weak. So
You don't have a stance on the COVID vaccine.
well, I have been kind of skeptic. My stance has been like, let me see how it does on some people first before I like. Although I miss concerts but I saw, you don't know what to believe. You seeing the things online saying people have partial Bell palsy and or partial face paralysis and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like, and then you're told that I think it's 2 different ones and you have to take it in 2 different parts or something like that. You have to take. So I'm like, what is going on? Then you get things like Larry King and saying that they died being treated and trying to, all these different COVID related type things, or that there was someone who had in their Instagram story that like 55, I want to say, Americans died right after getting the vaccine. That was like the headline, and I didn't even click on it. I was like, oh, I don't need that in my life right now, because I'm a firm, my granddaddy has had us taking cod liver oil since the beginning of us walking the planet.
I
So
don't know
I
what
have
that is, Lena. I'm sorry. What is that?
it's an actual supplement, like you take like a oil that you take by spoon, like teaspoon daily. Like that's it's cod liver oil.
And it keeps
COD.
it builds your immune system.
Yes, like with a like just it tastes horrible. But those remedies that your grandparents, take this, or I don't know if you've heard of castor oil for certain things.
I've heard of castor oil. Yeah.
Okay, so they have. That's what I've been taking. Like, and I even like if you get like a runny nose, my granddaddy would be like, you take 2 teaspoons and get rid of that, and some orange juice, and it works. Like with my system, it does. And I've been tested several times and had no issues, even with having to travel to LA. And yeah, I miss concerts, and that's another reason, like I would have to be one who would have to get the vaccine to go back to that type of a life. But I'm kind of like, I'm cool doing it virtually till I see what happens with people. I don't want to risk getting it, trying to go to a concert. Now I'm paralyzed from the waist down, and like you don't know how it's going to affect your body. You don't. I'm not trying to make it but I'm just considering, like, and then my husband is always, like I said, he's always watching CNN, and he's like, the FDA wouldn't approve it if it wasn't going to be such and such and such, like we should get it. I'm like, you can get it, and I'll see how I'll see how it works for you first. So we even divided in my house a little bit, kind of like, no, I ain't just so ready to get it yet. Like, I'll wait. Right. Let me see. So yeah, it's funny, but I'm really side-eyeing the vaccine. Like, let me just. But that's a part of being Black too. We side-eye things first until
we do, Lena. I tell you what, the way that they marketed it to Black people was like. So they want to achieve herd immunity, which is, I want to say, anywhere from 75 to 80% of the population.
Okay.
And basically that would mean that the society would be like immune to it, because like so many people have been vaccinated or gotten it or can't get it, like, and all of those things together, right? But the percentage that we would need to take to reach herd immunity, we could reach that number without any Black individual taking it. And so way they were marketing it as like with the Black scientist, and then a Black person came up with it, and then just like Black people don't want to get it. And they were just like, and they sent, it felt to me as though they sent our doctors and our scientists and all of our people to say, get them, get them on our side. Get them
Yeah, you're
I
right.
was like,
I did notice that little bit of, even with the videos going. You're right, Roger. I feel like
I said, I don't, this doesn't make me feel good about this.
so. You don't, you on my side. You saying don't get,
Listen,
or
I'm trying
you
to be
would get it.
objective. I'm trying to be objective out here, but I'm 100% on your side. 100%. Like, period. I'm very concerned. My thing is, I just don't trust my government.
Yep.
I just don't trust my government. And people always want to point out Tuskegee, but there have been multiple incidents of them using Black bodies to experiment on. The father of gynecology, he practiced on Black women slaves, and there are countless examples. And I like you. There's so much about it that we don't know. We don't know the effects after 1 year, after 2 years, because
long term.
It hasn't been a whole year. How do you know?
Yep.
And so I respect to the people that have all the degrees. And that's fine. But there's no reason you can't tell me that, because you don't know. Like,
that's right.
No, you don't know. And so I feel it, and I think that I would like to see people value Black people's perspectives instead of saying, oh, Black people feel this way, let's get them to change. Like, I don't like that.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Because of, not saying we should, but we always been skeptic. But do we not have a reason to not be? You know, like so.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, that's why we are like the history of everything. Even a Black baby is gonna be as little skeptic with some things and how they react versus some other ethnicities. You know, at the playground or at the lunch table, you put just any type of food in front of a Black baby, they be like smelling. They gonna I've seen it. Like, these green beans ain't seasoned like what I'm used to. I ain't just finna dive in. So it's like something that's just been a God-given trait or something where we just like, Or the other thing about us, we don't necessarily have to see or hear know what's going on behind us. If we just see somebody taking off running, I'm not finna look back.
We out.
I'm taking off. But you know, some of the other races will be like, well, what's going on over? Boom, boom, boom. Now you all shot up. You went to go investigate. Now you all stabbed up. You done lost the eye being nosy. When, hey, all I saw was somebody flojo past me and I took off too. I'm not finna be like, when we get to the safe ground, I'm be like, girl, what was happening? What was happening over there? Oh, I was running for the bus. Oh, okay. Well, next time, did you tell me a little sooner? So I don't want to be in the marathon, but if it's gonna save my life, yes, that's what I mean. Like, we just have always had that thing that I don't feel fully sold. So, and that thing of weighing our options. We gonna go to different stores and see, okay, is it cheaper here? Is it better here? We're not just gonna take the first thing, that comes. So most of us, I can't say all, but a lot of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was wondering, you mentioned the Clark sisters earlier, and I know you're steeped in knowledge of gospel singers. You've been listening to gospel music your whole entire life. And when I was coming up, when I was in the church, I realized on the church fan, there would be one or two people. One would be Martin Luther King. The other would be Mahalia Jackson. And that was it. It was either Martin Luther King or it was Mahalia Jackson. So,
or some random Black family we didn't know. Sometime. I don't know if you've seen those. It'd be a little girl with a hat or,
But celebrity status. It was Martin
Okay.
Luther King
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Mahalia Jackson.
yeah.
So
You're
I
right.
let's say, Lena, what if it were up to you?
Oh, you finna
And
do this?
I'm gonna do this. I'm going to do this, but not a civil rights figure, but singers on Lena's church fans. You got 3 church fans for
Ooh.
3 gospel singers. Who are they, Lena?
Whew.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my towel for the sweat beads? Well, there are 2 that are deceased. One died recently. I don't think he died because it was COVID related, but past his name was Rance Allen, and I want to say he did do some things in the 60s with like songs for the movement. I'm not sure of all of the music back then, but he has a song called Lying on the Truth if you want to look it up on YouTube when he was younger. But he's one like the most influential male gospel voices, because you know we had our Mahalia and you got so many women, but it's rare that the men in gospel get recognition. So he's one. Another male that passed away that I was a huge fan, and he was played in our house all the time, was Andre Crouch.
Okay. Okay.
And he actually, like, one of the singers that worked with him is the lady's voice that you hear in Color Purple when Suge Avery is singing.
Mm-hmm.
Her the sister you've been on, and the God is trying to tell you something.
Uh-huh.
The lady that is singing, she was a part of Andre Crouch's group. Her name is Tata Vega.
Okay.
So him, and just how he kind of broke barriers in church, because he kind of was a Kirk Franklin in his own right. Like, he was a little bit more contemporary when breaking those barriers and introducing a gospel sound that wasn't what the church necessarily, you know, they might have said like he was going to hell. Or, and then another one that I loved and I grew up and I actually got to sing with was a Bay Area legend, gospel legend, is Edwin Hawkins.
You gonna choose
And
all guys?
yep.
Wow. Okay. Edwin
And I
Hawkins.
say that
Okay.
because of their stamp in gospel.
Okay.
Those are just 3 that it's so many I could put, Roger. Like you said, I know a lot of them
Mm-hmm.
and listen to a lot of them, but those 3, like, they had, I'll say they influenced a lot of the other ones that came along.
Okay.
Like, if you ask a lot of them, or the newer ones that are around, they'll be like, oh, that was one of my biggest influences. Andre Crouch was a piano player as well. So was Rance, and so was Edwin. So they weren't just locked into the singing part. They also were songwriters. You know, they were innovators. And then I know for sure Edwin had some issues as far as being in the church and not, you know, they were kind of told that he and his siblings were told like that they were going to go to hell for certain way that they did certain songs. And then Edwin is known for "Oh Happy Day," so he's the one that
Whoa.
yeah.
Oh, for singing it or for writing it?
For the version that from Sister Act 2, that's
He
Edwin
came up with
Hawkins.
that's his song?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I got to sing with him from 2009 till he passed in 2018. Yeah, I was his youngest singer. I got to go to Switzerland because of him. So it's an even more connection to him. Like, he could have chose all these different people to take with him to Switzerland. That was my first time leaving the States. And to experience this, like, I think it was like a 300 voiced teenage choir singing "Oh Happy Day." And even I'm told other groups, like anybody Black goes to Italy or anywhere out of the country, they gotta hear "Oh Happy Day." Like, that's just, and it'd be like, y'all not even Edwin Hawkins, but they want to, like, that's a gospel song that is just, don't come out here if y'all ain't finna sing that. So that's why I said I would put him on a fan, because of how he left his mark with that. And then you got your Rance Allen, who a lot of men in gospel that have come along now, they'll be like, that's one of my biggest influences. Like, I tried to sing like him. I tried to play like him. I tried to. And then Andre Crouch is another one, like just another big person who, you know, I want to say Rance was from Ohio. Andre Crouch was from LA. And then Edwin is from the Bay, Oakland.
Yeah.
So,
Man,
yeah.
You dropping bombs. "Oh Happy Day" is straight from Oakland, California. Like, we
Yes.
can for that.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I know you probably gonna be looking up stuff like, Lena told me. Yep, it'll be. And it's a lot of interviews with Ed, and his brother Walter was another great legend in the Bay Area. But the both of them together, man, and I have so many fond memories, and then just experiences that I owe to them. They're part of my journey and how I landed where I am today too, because of going with them and singing on stages with them. And then of course people record that stuff and put that on Instagram, and people start inquiring, well, who is that girl in the red dress, or who is, so that got my following too, from just being associated with them. Like, who, she must be something if she's traveling with them, so, and just them taking a chance on me, because they could have, like I said, they had singers from Tennessee when I started singing with them. They had another musician from St. Louis. Like, it's so many on the spectrum that you can choose. But he actually saw me sing at a church in Oakland with his cousin who did a recording. And he was like, you just was the full package. You could sing. You was pretty. You was presentable, because all of that matters. A lot of people don't always think like that part of the package, not just sounding the part, but trying to look the part. We can't just be out here all ashy and all of it has, comb your hair, pick your afro out, put some lip gloss on, put some put some perfume on, put some deodorant on, do all of it. All of it matters. Put a mint in your mouth, brush your teeth, brush your tongue. It's like,
you got to get the tongue, not just the teeth. You got to get the back of the tongue. You got to really
scrape and gargle, people, gargle. But you really got to floss. That's where the other people don't.
That's how you don't get gingivitis. You got to floss it out.
Floss. Right. I even have the water pick flosser. I just like doing it because how it feels. I feel like a little fake dentist. But it'd be like all the food being gone. I'm just holding it there. Like, that's so soothing. A whole rainfall just in my gums. But yeah, and even like how you get those people, and then they drop little gems, even along the way, like even in studio sessions, and Edwin like kind of talking me through certain songs that I would work on and stuff with him. Like, you could change this lyric or say this or do this because less is more in this sense. Or don't start off the song so harsh. Don't start off, or save your tricks and stuff towards the end. Like, you don't just get gems like that from everyone. Some people aren't always as willing to give you their knowledge in something, just that could be in any work environment where you become a mentee under somebody. And sometimes people hold gems that they should share with the next generation, or a person that you're trying to see come up, and you won't tell them, you should try this and this and do that and that. Some people hold, it's that like crab in the bucket. Like, I'm not going to share, I don't want nobody to succeed more than I do, or, so I'm super thankful for seeing that type of thing. Because sometimes it's every man for themselves out here. People can be really, really mean and stingy and for themselves, and have
even in the gospel world, huh?
Oh yeah, because a lot of people, for them, it's just a business. It's not something that they're dedicating the gift God gave them back to him. Mm-hmm. Now, you can be blessed from doing it, because even the Bible says a person is worthy of their hire, whatever they do. But it is some people who kind of lose track of the why of, why they got into it in the first place, or who they're doing it for. And they let things taint the experience, or people, get in their ear and get them pumped up, and they get arrogant, and, so it always has a way of showing who's really in it for the passion and who's really in it for the other stuff, because like I said, I was posting just because I love to sing. So and I'm a hairstylist by trade. So if this wasn't going to work, or if I wasn't singing, I still had a booth and a salon to work in. It wasn't like I just chose, I'm finna be on the road and I'm finna be traveling and being the singer. No, it's kind of like it chose me. I wasn't even, that's why I said, I know it has to be God. It's not anything that I would have just set out to become. From a child, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be a salon owner, and I'm gonna do hair, and that was like my thing. I never saw the Lena, the artist, the singer. Even though I sang in church, I didn't see myself becoming Lena Byrd Miles to people. I didn't see that happening.
Right. Has the effects of COVID-19 and you not being able to tour, has that been really devastating to you financially?
In the beginning, yes, but thankfully to God, for real, I've been thriving. Like, I have a husband too who works, but just your own, like, I didn't just experience it from one end. I experienced it from the salon end too, you know, because the salons dried up.
Right.
So, and some are still operating and they're not supposed to be in certain counties. But soon as I want to, what was it, March 16th, we were out for my mother's birthday at a restaurant in San Francisco. And I remember texting the salon owner where I used to work. And she was like, yeah, we're not even guaranteed a break from the landlords of the salon. So we're going to still be needing you guys to pay, even though you can't work. I'm like, we're going to be paying booth rent and we can't work? How that's going?
Right.
So I paid for like the first 2 weeks. And then my husband was like, we ain't finna be giving our money. We ain't got it. We got it, but we ain't got it like that. You ain't even doing nothing there. You just... So I had to walk away from a salon I loved. I still love the people there. Right. And me, not just me and a few of the girls walked away because it was just like, we don't know what's going to happen. The coins we do have, we need to be putting up for ourselves, you know, just to figure that out. And then I also had even certain ministries who had sent deposits for me to come. They started asking for those back, even though they was spent months ago, because they had sent them so many months ago. Right. So I'm like, well, God, how you gonna just make the money appear that I spent? You know, like these people are asking for their money back. So that was all scary. Like, man, but it was so different. Nobody knew how to kind of process and adjust what was happening. So thankfully, my manager started reaching out to a lot of these ministries that were asking, like, we need our money back from Lena Deck since she's not going to be able to come. And she started presenting like, well, can she do a video for you? Can she do? And they were like, oh, we didn't even think about that. Then we'll just call it, you know, when she does all that, she can just send the videos. And so then by them posting and doing things like that on Facebook, I started getting more inquiries from other pastors. Can you sing before I preach? Can she do this video by this time? So that became the blessing during COVID, like that I was still able to have a stream of income because of that part. That's really what's been. And then I had a few, like even in my family, who I went to their houses. I had a few clients who I went to that I knew had tested and all of that and weren't, you know, I could count on one hand. But I've had a few that I've done their hair in their homes, some of my older clients. So that's been a way of me still not kind of going stir crazy, but very cautiously and carefully doing things like that for certain people. But that's been a way of making money too, since I can't go to the salon and do it, you know, that way. Because it's some, they were just kind of like, I'm not taking no for an answer. You did my hair all these years. I will feed you. I will whatever it takes to get you to come. So, but it's really been a blessing because I love doing hair. Like, it was more than just that experience. You become a confidant. You become, you know, sometimes you see those people more than your own family, and you become like family to them. So a lot of times I remember being for one of my clients who's deceased, she came to the salon right after she got told what her stage in cancer was, and before she went home to tell her family, and she came to ask me to pray with her before she went home to tell her family that and I remember the decline.
Is this recently that this
No,
happened?
this is some years ago, maybe 2000, maybe 2009-ish,
right,
10. Right. But she was scared to go to the hospital, and I was like, just go see, because of her breast being, you know, weird or whatever. And it was breast cancer, and it was like stage 4. And by the time it was just so far gone, like it wasn't no need for her to do chemo, any of that. And she was gone like probably 2 months after finding out.
Mm.
But she had a son who had just started his freshman year of high school. And she had an older son who had already graduated, was grown. She was like, I'm devastated that I won't live to see my baby walk the stage after, having such a tough time in school and us getting to this point and getting our rhythm. And so I was just, in that moment, it's like where you really have to practice what you've been seeing and been a part of in your faith and really trying to give people hope in that sense. A song isn't necessary right then. You got to use your words and, whatever God puts on your heart to say to that person to uplift them. So, but it said a lot to me, even in doing here, like, wow, this person chose me to be the person they come, so my light must be shining in some other way that I didn't even realize for her to want, because I'm not the person that just walk in a salon, let's pray, everybody, like life wasn't on display for me like that. Some people, you could be like, dang. Or it was a girl in high school who used to walk the halls just singing all the time. I wasn't her either. I didn't want people to even know I could sing. So I'm just saying, some people are loud in broadcasting and trying to be seen and trying to, make sure it's known what they do and who they are. And I feel like I just live my life. And I do ask God, though, all the time when I pray, like, let me reflect who you are. I don't have to be loudly reflecting in essence where, because a lot of times loud is insecure. Loud is, just doing the most. Loud is not always attractive. Loud doesn't always win. Mm-hmm. So, but it just meant a lot to me. And she's not the only one. I had several clients share all kind of stuff with me that I'll take to my grave, that, how they feel about children or, forgiving. And I was talking to a certain client about forgiveness with her parents. It's so many things, like reconciliation with your child. It's so many things that you deal with, even in just working and doing hair. You think it's just a service, but people find you as some form of, or look at you as some form of therapy or therapist just by being a good listener. So, so much of that where you feel like that's a tool of witnessing for God too, just by listening to somebody, because some people don't have people just to talk to, just to vent and get things off their chest about life matters. So yeah, it was very scary when all of this just appeared, and you're like, okay, we got to figure this out. This is all new for everyone, but as you can see, my face still fat. I ain't missed a meal. That's the other part of, we don't discuss is people's pandemic pounds that we get.
It's real.
Man,
it's real.
Some of these clothes is like, hey, some of the buttons, like, hold on, don't zip me up. You just leave me unzipped. So in that sense, you could be like, hey, God been good. We still got our Captain Crunch over here. Our Fruit Loops is plentiful.
With the Crunch Berries or no?
I'm actually either original or I'm a peanut butter Captain Crunch girl. I've never had the Crunch Berry.
Oh, Crunch Berries is off the chain.
I hear that often.
They turn the milk.
Yeah. Matter of fact, when we get off this Zoom, somebody go have some cereal.
Okay. I don't want to separate you from that bowl for too much longer.
We good. I'm just saying, all this talk is making me like, I might have to partake in some. I ain't had no Fruit Loops in a while.
Okay, listen, Lena, I so appreciate this. Please let the tribe know, how can they support you? All the music, all the social media, how can people get behind you?
Everything Lena Byrd Miles. That's my name is so short. LenaByrd Miles. I'm all things Lena Byrd Miles. Facebook, Twitter. Instagram is just my name. YouTube, if you guys want to listen to anything I have out musically. I'm still working on my actual music, so I don't have an album or anything out yet, but there are a few singles on iTunes, Spotify, where all digital music is played. But other than that, that's pretty much all I have. We're working, I can say that, but we're a little, COVID put a pause to, because you can only have so many people in capacity in certain places in the studio. You can't have like a full orchestra anymore because, you can only have up to 4 to 6 people sometimes in a studio session. So it's pausing and making the process a little longer. But we do hope to have music out this year. So, and probably by summer, if things, I'm not getting vaccinated, but hopefully I want to be close to being done, but I don't want to just put a time. But yeah, we're aiming to be finished with the album by then. But yeah, I might have more to, say by then. But yeah, if they want to follow for laughs, for just, I love to laugh, so they'll see if they ever come over to my page. But yeah, that's how you can support me, and your prayers. Your prayers mean more to me than even that. Just pray that God keeps me covered, especially during this time. My health is wealth, just mentally, emotionally, and physically, because it's a lot going on with everything that's happening just in America, and people losing their jobs with the COVID. It's affected people's mental status, and just people are suicidal, they feel hopeless. It's so much. So yeah, keep praying for me, tribe, and let's win together.
Absolutely. I love it. And we will do. The gospel tradition continues through
Yeah,
Lena Byrd Miles. I want to thank you so much for
my
taking time
pleasure.
to talk to me. And the surprise, the tribe is definitely behind you 100%.
Thank you, Roger, I really appreciate it.
Absolutely appreciate you. All right, tribe, appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace, tribe.
Peace.